Hi, I'm Darla Beam with DV Leadership. Welcome back. We are in week 13 of the 52-week awakening journey. And this week is about empowerment, spiritual empowerment, and actually leadership empowerment. We talked a little bit about this in week 5. I nodded toward a book called The Empowerment Dynamic. And this really has had such a profound shift on my own leadership and spiritual development that it really is worth diving into a little bit deeper here. So I want to first nod to the quotes from the Matrix about taking the blue pill and you go back to your life and you forget, that any of this has ever happened. But if you take the red pill, right, you're opened up to a whole new world of possibility and reality. And that's truly what this model, this leadership model and this work did for me. It really was an entire new world. In the same way that I was spiritually awakened with the story I shared with you earlier, this awakened me cognitively. So this book is called The Empowerment Dynamic, and it is about a man who, and within 1 year's time, lost his father, found out that he was sterile, and his wife left him as a result of that. Now you can imagine he was feeling like a victim and feeling victimized and like he didn't have choice, right? And truthfully, he didn't have choice as to what happened to him. Throughout the story, what he learns is that he had a choice in how he reacted. But I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit. In the beginning part of the story, David is his name. He vacillates between playing the role of victim, the world's happening to me, and being a persecutor of his wife specifically, who left him, right, making her wrong, and then also being a rescuer, rescuing himself from his own problems and trying to rescue other people to make himself feel good. Those are sort of the three roles of this, what is called the drama triangle. As the story goes on, and David realizes that there's another solution. Now, in my own life, when I was reading this book, and it's been a long time, it's been about 15 years, right? I was in a situation where I had, both professionally and personally, but as it relates to reading this story, I was actually at my in-laws and I had a very colicky baby that I was taking care of. And I was sort of, shunned to a bedroom upstairs. And I was feeling pretty victimy myself. I was feeling like a victim and like the world was happening to me. So this book really, really couldn't have come at a better time when I was really struggling with something. And so I was really relating to David's story. And there are so many things that are happening in this world right now where we do feel like we are victims and we can't control what's happening. And through this story, what I realize and David realizes and shares is that there is another way of being in the world. And you've been there, we've all been there, right? This other triangle is called the empowerment dynamic. What I hope with sharing this with you today is that it will give you greater consciousness and awareness of this and a visual so that you can align to it and align others to how to operate with empowerment in your own leadership. The other triangle, the power of TED, TED, the empowerment dynamic, consists of being a creator or a leader, right? Co-creating. Instead of being in reaction to, I'm creating with the world. It's a role or a perspective, a mindset. And the opposite of persecutor is challenger. Similar energy, but it's really a calling forth energy. And then the opposite of rescuer, who does things for the sake of themselves and making themselves feel better. The opposite of that in the empowerment dynamic is coach. Coach asks powerful questions, listens, and does it for the sake of the creator, of believing in the person and not in their victimhood. The aha that really landed for me, and still I can see visually in many conversations and many relationships, is what separates these two triangles. It's a line I draw right down the middle, and it's called the line of choice. In every single moment, we have a choice to operate as a leader, or we have a choice to live and react to what's happening to us in the world, right? It's a line of choice. And I'll sometimes joke and say, I am in reaction to, I'm choosing the drama triangle 87 times a day, because it does happen to us. right? And what matters is that we recover to, bring awareness to this. And I'm telling you, like this changed my life, right? And I'll give you one little example. My daughter, fast forward 8 years, and she's 8 years old. We finished reading this book, and she shared with me something that was going on in her life that she was struggling with. And I just very simply asked her the question, what triangle are you operating from? And she was sort of taken aback, right? Because I was really giving the power back to her to choose. And she said, I'm in the drama triangle. She walked away, she came back, and everything was shifted. And something was shifted between the two of us because I let it be hers. And I've used this in meetings, in corporations, with clients. Sharing this work matters. Bringing this awareness is a part of the awakening journey because we can give it back to folks and let them own it, right? So it's just everything. It's just how we relate to ourselves and how we relate to our teams, our partners, everyone in our lives. So here's your practice for this week, okay? What I want you to do is pick a relationship in your life, and I want you to have a conversation with that person and share these two models. You can take a look at the models in the show notes below and really talk about what is your default? What do you normally default to, each of you, okay? And then talk a little bit about where do you want to default to? Okay, which role do you want to play? Do you want to be living in? Which triangle do you want to live in? And then talk a little bit about accountability, how you can call each other out on this, right? In a loving way, in a way that's not persecutor, right? In a way that's challenger. All right. So that's your practice for this week. I'm looking forward to hearing how it goes. This is really big work, and I'm really super excited for you to practice it. Have an amazing week, and I'll see you back here in week 14. Take care.